I'd like to welcome you all to our Corporate Emergency Response Center where you are today. Appreciate you being here. I'd like to give you an update on the status of our restoration of our customers as a result of the two recent winter storms that really devastated our service territory, and talk about our plans for the future. I'd like to start by talking a little bit about just how devastating these storms were. With winter storms, we're used to seeing trees and limbs down that take down our wires and interrupt power to customers. These storms, the tree damage we're seeing is much more extensive. Large limbs came down, many trees completely uprooted, and the result of that is that we're not just repairing our system. In many cases, we're actually rebuilding it. I want to take you back to last Friday when the first storm affected us, Winter Storm Riley. That knocked out 140,000 customers in our service territory, over 100,000 in Westchester. We were mobilized and we prepared for that. We worked through the restoration, and when you were last here on Tuesday, I told you that we would have 90% of the customers back by the end of the day Tuesday. We were successful in achieving that, and we would normally have been set up nicely to restore the remaining 10% of the customers over the next couple of days. Unfortunately, we know that didn't happen because the second winter storm, also very devastating, came through on Wednesday, Winter Storm Quinn. And with that, we lost another 60,000 customers, 50,000 of the 60,000 again in Westchester. Westchester hit particularly hard, and you see that in the outage numbers. Another data point that points to that is that we had almost 100 road closures just as a result of the second Storm Quinn. Those road closures are a joint responsibility of the municipalities and our company. They take the trees down, we have to be there to move the wires. So when we moved into recovery on Thursday, we had to dedicate some crews to making sure that we got the roads clear so that the towns can return to a sense of normalcy and that normal emergency response can be assured. That slowed down our response a bit. A few other things also affected as well. Because the size of the second storm was like the first, so large and affected many states. Many states had over 100,000 customers out, total in the Northeast of 1.1 million. Because it was so wide, some of the mutual aid workers that we had here were called back to work on their home utilities. And so we lost some people that had been working with us on Wednesday that had to go back to the utilities on Thursday. We also saw that Wednesday, for much of the working part of the day, because of the high winds and heavy snow, our crews were not able to work in the overhead area. So we saw some slowdowns in progress as a result of the second storm. That brings us up to where we are now. We have approximately 12,500 customers that remain out. We'll be working through the next several days to complete and into early next week to complete the restoration of those customers. We have more crews coming in every day now. So in addition to the 2,000 workers we have out there now, we're adding to that workforce with mutual aid support from other utilities and people from outside our area. And we will continue to stay focused on the safe and timely restoration of those customers until the last customer is restored. I do want to also discuss another topic, the topic of information and communications. We have seen significant problems in us providing accurate and consistent information to our customers and our municipalities. The customers and municipalities count on us to give them things like ETRs, estimated time of restoration. They count on us to provide municipal information for each area, and they count on us to provide outage maps. And we experience very significant problems with our technology systems that take in the customer data and turn it into things like outage maps and municipal information. The end result was something that was really very negative. We take a very distressed condition where normal life is disrupted by the outages themselves, and we added on to that, unfortunately, robocalls that were multiple times per customer. We saw cases where we were frequently changing the ETRs, and some cases where customers were told they were back in service when in fact they weren't. We got our arms around what was causing that in the systems. You could call it a bug or a glitch, but it was something that in the system as a result of some of the recent work that had been done. We've got our arms around it now. It is one of the major lessons learned and areas for commitment for us to make improvements going forward. I will tell you that it did not result in crews working unproductively. We didn't dispatch crews to wrong areas as a result of that, but it certainly added another level of frustration for our customers. We deeply regret the impact that that has had on them, and we've got our arms around it for now, and I am absolutely committed to ensuring that we fix that so that it does not happen again. That being said, we will continue to work 24/7 on the restoration. I mentioned that we have all our own crews as well as mutual aid coming in, increasing every day. We are focused and committed in the response. Our total corporation is focused on this as job one, and we will not stop until every customer is restored to service.